And let's close out the podcast talking about the Bulls. And make sure to check us out, patreon.com/mostofallpodcast. That's how you help support the channel. Make sure we can do great things like we're doing. And also, at $1, not only do you get access to our Discord channel that gives you access to talk about everything, but Dave, I'm going to let you take this over for a little bit. What have we been doing? Well, you've done it more than me. I should have popped in during the Bulls game. But what have we been doing with some Discord mates?
We do watch-alongs now in Discord. You get to watch NBA games. We do it as a community. We do it as a group. Everybody's shooting the shit.'re having fun. We're watching games together. It's a great time. And I think both times we've done it, we've done, like a game and a half
Suns,
or so.
And then you guys did Knicks Bulls.
Yeah, but I mean, we watched 2 games usually. Yeah. It was like a game and a half. The one, I didn't want to keep going because I was tired and it was late.
Which one? Was that after the Bulls?
That was after
game,
the Knicks Bulls.
Okay.
Yeah. But we watched 2 games the first time. We started shooting the shit about it. It's a fun time. You can come in, talk shit about other teams. Be respectful. But Jake, watch yourself.
What is it? Was it Easy?
Easy was in there.
Win?
Yeah.
Talking about his Knicks, which sorry, but we won this time. We got the revenge on Bobby.
Yeah.
But we're talking about Bulls. Make sure Patreon though, if you want to join in on that, join in on everything. That's down below in the description. But let's talk about the Bulls. And I have a distinct question that I want to ask, and this is something that has been prevalating or circulating in my head, percolating in my head since the Milwaukee game. And it's not a one-game thing. It's been happening all year round. And I don't know if it's because Stella needs to get her groove back. The Monstars have come and just taken away decision-making from this player on the Bulls. I don't know what it is, but I can't keep saying it, and that's Zach LaVine.
Yeah.
The question that we're going to answer is Zach LaVine right for the Bulls' future? And I know what you're saying. Well, Ricky, he is. Stay true. Be that Zach LaVine stand that you and Dave have been on the fast break in front of Sean for so long.
Yep.
And then there's Devin Booker haters saying that, Devin Booker's really not as good as Zach LaVine.
Nope. Zach LaVine's not as good as Devin Booker.
So
you got to say it the right way around if you're going to make fun of people.
I have a question, though, for you.
Yeah.
And that is, Bulls Kingdom, who I follow on Twitter, had a great tweet where he retweeted Casey Johnson, Bulls insider with NBC Sports. And Casey Johnson tweeted during the game, not a good field goal attempt from Zach. Bulls Kingdom said, which one was you talking about? Because there were a lot.
Yeah.
And the thing with Zach that I can't stand anymore and needs to stop is I don't know if he feels like he needs to be the one that's leading the team. I don't know if it's like, well, I haven't had a shot in a while. Let me check it up. But it's like he'll drive down. All right, I'm just going to shoot a 3. And he shoots it and bricks it. And then the ball's going the other way. And I'm like, wait, what just happened? There was 24 seconds on the clock. What just happened?
Yeah.
And this is why, in my head, I am now asking the question, is Zach LaVine right for our future? Or are we starting to learn here that maybe Zach ain't the right guy for us leading? It's Coby and Wendell, and everyone else is secondary.
That speaks a lot about where the Bulls are at right now, that everybody else is secondary. But no, I think the problem with Zach LaVine, I do agree. His shot selection goes to shit, and he does go into hero mode at times. It's like you don't need to play hero ball. Our offense has a flow to it, and I feel like you're right. He either just puts the blinders on, jacks up bad shots, or drives lane for absolutely no fucking reason. He doesn't play within the offense because he feels he is the offense. And I think that's part of the problem of us kind of struggling to find a true point guard. Sato's good, but he doesn't seem to be the perfect fit. We thought somebody who's not a shoot-first point guard like him could be good, but I think we need a little more maybe ego running from the point guard to where he can dictate the level of offense. He can kind of dictate the pace of play, where it still feels like Zach LaVine's that guy on our team. Sato's just a nice accompanying piece next to him.
Like Zach's playing the point, Sato's playing the 2.
I don't. Yeah, Sato's just an afterthought.
Just with how they
running our offensive
bringing
sets.
the ball up. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think the problem is the pace of play needs to be dictated by our point guard, and Zach is just going to do Zach because he feels like he's the best player on the team. He may be the best player on the team right now, but he's not always playing like it. Is the problem. That lack of consistency and that perma green light in his head kind of frustrate the fuck out of a lot of fans right now.
And there's even a part of me that's like, is it just because Zach isn't isn't Deadeye right now. He's not like
the last
last
2 games
year
is good.
Yeah, but I mean, like,
it's not so much.
Like, I feel like there were more times last year that Zach would do that and the ball would go in the bucket rather than banking off and the ball going the other way. So there's a part of me that's like, were they just going in last year? And that's why I didn't notice this from Zach.
And to be fair,
last
his
year?
shooting splits this year are 42, 37, 78. And for historical comparison, last year he was 46, 37, 83. So yeah, it is a dip from where he was last year considerably. But still, point being that I don't know if he is the right guy because he feels like he should run the offense. And I don't know that he should run an offense. I think that's sort of the problem is Devin Booker might have done a little bit better than him, but the problem with both of them was that they cannot succeed running an offense solely on their own merit. Like Devin Booker got the help in Ricky Rubio. Zach LaVine did not find that partner.
Right.
Ricky Rubio.
Thank you. Got to roll them R's, baby.
Yep. But I just feel like Sato is a good piece, but he's not, our point guard. He's not the guy to be our point guard.
He's also playing a very different role than he did in Washington, too.
I mean, to be fair, like John Wall was hurt all last year, so he kind of played a similar role.
Yeah.
But he was better running the second unit. No doubt in my mind. I think the thing that kills me is just watching the differences in our offense when we have that first unit out there versus when that second unit.
The Coby, Chris Dunn unit.
Kobe, Chris Dunn, Archie Diacono, Thad Young. Like, I just feel like, I don't know, Chicago in the bench mob. Like, we love our bench more. It's our backup quarterback situation all over again.
The best feeling in the world was watching the Coby White 3 when Archie passes it, turns around before the shot's even gone, and is already celebrating it without even looking at it.
It's just confidence.
It's the swaggy P that we wanted to see.
Kobe couldn't miss that game. Oh, a couple games now. He's had just that streak of threes.
Yeah.
I think that's the problem is we're seeing it come from other guys, and it's like, why aren't we doing this better? How come a lot of it comes from Lowry's struggles, though? So
I was even going to bring him up because
I know
both
this
of
is
our
a Zach LaVine statement.
Go ahead. No,
but
I was going to bring Lowry is not Lowry in our mind this year.
Right. And that it all sort of, comes together is the problem is Zach LaVine, the guy of our future. I don't know because right now the offense is still trying to run through him, even though we're saying we're going to use a true point guard and we're not really. And Lowry is not the scorer that he's supposed to be. He was supposed to be our 7-footer, our sniper from the outside, the guy the finisher, the guy who's 7 feet tall shooting guard.
Yeah,
we're not using him like that, and he has no confidence anymore. I know there's the injury claim right now, but it's just not right. Otto's out, another problem. So it's like we're playing with half the deck, and we're not getting great results, but on paper we're like we should have won these games. We've blown games. It's different if we had been behind the whole time, but we've blown almost I want to say half of our losses are
Charlotte
blown
should have
leads.
been a win.
Yeah.
New York on the road should have been a win. Cleveland on the road should have been a win. Indy on the road, just because of who was sitting that game, should have been a win, although we were outplayed. Looking at the game, we were outplayed, shouldn't have won looking at that.
Right.
But we should have gotten up for that game and played better in that game. That's why I complete that as a win. And then, the Lakers should have been a win. And I'll even throw out the Milwaukee game. Although we were up by 1 at half, I feel like the same thing happened. A bad third. Milwaukee gets the lead. And then it's like, we did better in the fourth to try to, what was it? We cut it to a, 4 or 1 point game.
Yeah.
And then Zach does the hero ball thing. And it's like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
You were down by 4. Yes, that would have cut the lead to 1, but get a better shot, my man.
Exactly.
Better shot.
He doesn't work for it. He just goes. So that's the thing. Is it all on him? No. But does it look like this guy is our guy of the future? No.
You know who's our true guy of the future? Who
Wendell Carter.
Bingo. If someone told me Ricky, you get one untouchable on the Bulls, who is it? Nobody touches Wendell.
I'm taking the 5.
I'm taking the 5, and I'm and that's weird for me because I've usually me and the 5 have a weird.
You're anti.
I am anti-5.
It's the big men don't win.
But it just
he's bringing it every night,
and his attitude, his comments about Bobby, where it's he ain't gonna have that game again.
Yep.
Wendell is the attitude I want on this team. He is the guy I want.
Wise beyond his age.
I want him to mature into this leader
on
the Bulls. And then it's like, if you gave me 2 keepers, it's Coby. Like, that's it. And then really out of that, it's like, I don't need any more keepers. Like, I'm good with just those 2. Like, I've liked what, like, and you mentioned the Otto injury. Mm-hmm. I've actually liked what Hutch has brought to the team, weirdly. Yeah. It's just, he plays a little bit too out of control and doesn't finish some dunks, but it's like he's young. I'd rather have that than him just look like complete ass on the basketball court. But it's like, it's weird. It's weird. And also,
it's just frustrating. I think it's the thing. For me, it's not weird. It's just frustrating watching this team because we had expectations for them
that were high. Some said way too high. And you and I,
high.
Like, this is a great kind of therapy session because you and I had the way too high expectations.
This is our come to Jesus moment. This is our, like, look, let's be honest. What this team is playing like right now, we should be like you said, we should be winning a lot of these games, but we're not. And what's the problem? Outside of our health, just on the court, is Lauri Markkanen and Zach LaVine, the 2 guys who were supposed to be they were the centerpieces of the the Jimmy trade.
Yeah,
they were the 2 big takeaways. Chris Dunn was a redemption arc already from day one. We knew that, but those 2 guys were that's what's going to make our team start the new generation of Bulls. And both of them, Lauri much worse than Zach, but both have kind of faltered this year out the gates. So I think that problem has kind of started this conversation of like, okay, we went from we're really confident, we've got great 4 pieces in our starting lineup, we feel real good, to now it's like, so I'd be cool if by a couple weeks before the trade deadline, if we're not competing for a playoff spot, would you be cool with a turnaround in a trade?
Oh, you're reading my mind, Dave. You're reading my mind.
Would you pull a trigger on something like that? And again,
now,
the funny thing
Lauri, no, but Zach, maybe.
The funny thing is we all joked about this last season when the Sacramento Kings offered that deal. Yeah. And they're like, oh, you forced us to pay him. And they're like, oh, Chicago's idiots for paying him. Look, only Sacramento would make that deal. And we're like, no, it's gonna work out great. And last year it did. And LaVine played really well. And the difference was LaVine playing without talent around him. Now there's talent there. Now that everybody's not hurt at the same time. Like you have, Sato's been healthy. LaVine has been there. You've had Lauri. I don't care. He's
Zach
not actually
is trying
hurt.
To squid that.
Wendell's there.
He's trying to put that round peg into a square hole.
It feels unnecessary. It's like he doesn't understand the pieces around him, or he's not trusting of them because he feels like he has to go get his.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's part of his contract. I don't know if that's part of the Jim Boylan message of you're the number 1 on this team, act like it, play like it. Yeah. I'm not quite sure where it's coming from, but all I know is that I look at him and I look at the contract and I'm like, we paid you. You played great last year. This year, you didn't start off shooting well. No one on our team did. But there's got to be some point where it starts to catch on. In the last 2 games, he's played better. Does that mean that this is the right flow for our team going forward, though?
And here's the other thing, and I don't know if this is true, so I shouldn't say it, but I will because it's going to make good conversation.
Sure.
Where I wonder if a part of it is you look at Bulls Twitter, you look at Bulls radio, you look at everyone talking about the Bulls. Who are we talking about very fondly right now? Wendell and Coby. Yep. And like I just said, my 1 keeper would be Wendell. How much of this is Zach hearing? Because I know players say the thing of like, oh, I block it out, I don't hear it. But let's be honest, Kevin Durant's not the only one that listens to everyone on Twitter and responds to average Joes. Yep. Maybe people don't respond to it, but I wouldn't be shocked if there's good players that listen.
I guarantee you every player listens because
how much of it is Zach listening and going, no, I'm the lead, like I'm the one on this team, and maybe I don't want to say getting jealous because he hasn't shown jealousy through like interviews and stuff.
No,
but
he's a super nice guy.
Maybe a little part of it is, hey, I need to play better. I need to produce better so that they're looking at me that way because I should be that guy, and that's why he's forcing the issue.
He should be winning games, and
he should be our closer.
He should be our guy. Yeah, and that's the problem is he's not playing like a number 1 right now.
Yeah, the guy that how many Bulls games have I watched and it's like Will Purdue post games like, yeah, the Bulls just need that guy to help close out games. Well, isn't that supposed to be Zach LaVine?
Yeah.
Isn't like you look at LeBron, you look at James Harden, you look at all these guys. It's like when the chips are on the table and you got to close a game, that's the guy who's going to close it.
Feels like we've got a bunch of number 2s and 3s on the team. Not number 2s as poops, but
now you sound like Sean calling them number 2s. Everyone's a number 2 in Chicago.
It's true. It's true. Do we have is Zach LaVine our number 1? And I know I dropped the trade thing early, but like let's round back to like if he's not our number 1 guy. He's under contract. He's 24 right now.
He's got 2 more years.
2 more years at $19.5 million, which honestly, for someone putting up 20 points a game and, 4 boards, 4 assists, not bad. Like, that's the dumb thing. It's like on paper, if you looked at the stats, you'd be like, you guys are crazy for moving on from a piece like that.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's just like it's a better version of like a Wiggins deal where it's like, if we just keep holding out, he's going to get better, right? He's going to get better. He's going to turn a corner.
Well, and that's why
I feel like this season is just we're reacting so heavily early.
Because of the expectations.
Because of the expectations, yeah.
And I mean...
But at what point can we not be critical on a team?
And I mean, the whole thing I'm looking at, too, is if we end up where we're ending up right now and things continue, we're going to be a top 10 pick again.
Number 7.
We'll probably be number 7 because lucky number 7 for the Bulls. Right now, Tankathon has us going with Maladon. Out of France.
Yep, a true point.
I don't know if I like that. Like, because here's the question I want to ask you. Sean mentioned it on the fast break. I didn't get into it because I'm like, people don't like when I talk Bulls on the fast break.
We brought up Bulls like 3 times. It's okay.
He mentioned how Coby White isn't he's not the point guard. He's going to be the 2. Where I look at it and I go, I'm like, I don't know. I've liked what I've seen from Coby actually running the offense. Maybe it's just that second unit. His problem is, and like we saw in the Buck game, when he gets that groove going, he gets a little bit too reckless.
Ain't
like
nobody touching the ball but Coby.
Like that one where he ran under the basket and he passed it out.
Yeah.
I knew what he was thinking. He's like, that guy's going to be there. They were just off, and I think it was Archie or someone just slid over a little too far, and the ball went out of bounds. It's like,
the confidence. When he plays with confidence, it's fun, though. Like, that's the thing.
It's like unhinged
Just listening to you get excited about him is the point.
Right?
You don't get that excited about the way we're playing with our starters, but that second unit, man. Yeah. They're spicy. They're fun. Chris Dunn's out there leading the NBA in steals.
Is it just
you got the
me?
hustle game.
This is a side note. Aside. Is it just me that cringes a little bit when I think it's Stacy always compares Coby to Ben Gordon?
Yeah.
Because there's a part of me that's like, I want him to be better than, like, Ben Gordon was good.
That's the thing. You look at Ben Gordon's career and you're like, man, Ben Gordon was good.
I want him to be better than Ben Gordon. When I look at Coby White, I don't want the comparison to be, it was Ben Gordon.
Ben Gordon was a good player, though. He really was. He was a good player for us. He fell off the earth after Detroit, but, like, his time, come on, think about it. Rookie year. 15, 2-2.
Good point.
On pretty good shooting.
Those
at
were
the
the
time.
Baby Bowls, though, right?
That was 04-05. So it was just past the end of Baby Bowls. He was just transitioning out of Baby Bowls to like
into
a different form.
Derrick Rose in 08.
Before them, yeah. So he was putting up, 15, 2-2 on 41, 40, 86 shooting.
Okay.
Really good start.
Yeah.
Really good start. Then goes up to 16, keeps the shooting right in line, goes up to 21 in that third year. I'm sorry, when you're putting up 21 points a game, shooting, 45, 41, 86. Like, does that not scream like this guy's going to be a stud for the long term? That's my point. It's like, you say Ben Gordon. I'm like, do you not remember how good Ben Gordon was for the Bulls?
Maybe I don't. Maybe I remember like
we did
Ben
not win
Gordon's,
many games.
And maybe
but
that's
he was
why.
very good.
Maybe that's why. And this is to
he bounced
foreshadow.
like 15, 16, 21, 18, 20. Like, he had those first, 5 years of his career were great. And then we didn't want to pay him, and he went to Detroit, and he fell off the face of the earth. That's fine. I can't help that. That was that man's career.
You know what I also just noticed?
What's that?
So we're recording this on Saturday, obviously, before the Bulls-Nets game.
Yeah, they're going to be playing a little bit.
You know who's going to be going off this game? Zach's going to have like a 35-point game.
Easily.
Just because we talk shit now before
because that'll be 3 straight
tomorrow.
good games for him.
Yeah.
But you know
so
what?
I just noticed that. But like,
that's what we're saying. This is time to overreact. This is time to understand where we're as a team. And if you say Coby White is not, or Sean mentioned Coby White's not a true point guard, I don't know that he needs to be a true point guard because the question is Zach LaVine long term on this team? Was your initial question?
Well, and that's where I'll get to. Of if we have another top 10 draft pick, at the end of this year, next year by the trade deadline, if things aren't where I like it to be. I think next year, 2020-2021 season, by the trade deadline, you can move on from Zach because then you can sell teams on. You're getting Zach for the rest of this year to implement him with that team, and then you get him for just 1 year. It's not a huge marriage proposal for most teams, and you can move on from Zach. The question is, what would you want in return?
like again, 24 and 4 is kind of where he's been floating around. Last year he had a better year. The year prior he had, somewhere in that area. So it's like, if that's a baseline, that's not bad. Yes, his defense is not good. His effort's getting better, but he's still not quite there. So like, I don't know. I think teams would be interested in him. I think the contract's not as bad. It's not a bad contract yet. So
because at the end of when this contract ends, he's going to be entering the prime of his prime.
Yeah.
That's 27, 28, where we usually see, like, he's starting his prime now.
Yeah.
Correct? 24 is the start, or is it 22?
We agreed that, 24.
Okay.
We agreed that 24 is probably the prime start for the NBA because of your athleticism, your explosiveness. You might get stronger as you go, but you might not, be as quick and agile. So I think he's fine. I think he's in his prime. I just don't know long term if he's in the Bulls' plans. You have to answer him and Lowry, though. Like, I think it's Lowry. Is this just a slump to start the year? Is this something we're going to forget by the time that March, April, May roll around?
He's so like.
That's why I wouldn't give up on Zach. I'm not done with Zach, but Coby White intrigues me as a starting two guard.
The reason why I wouldn't, with the whole trade thing, why I wouldn't do it with Lowry is this is Lowry's third year.
Yeah,
he's still young. Like Zach is older than Markkanen. I know it's only by 2 years, but
that's 2 years. It's a lot.
We still have 2 more years of Markkanen under contract. Then he's an RFA, where I know people could kings it up and throw him a contract just for us to match it. But I look at it and I go, I'm not ready to give up on Markkanen, but that Zach clock is like, you got to show me what you can do this year, and if you fit, because you're either on the bus or you're off the bus. Because we're not, and maybe this is me as a fan talking and not the organization, but we're not going to be here much longer. I don't want to be in this fighting for a 7th seed. Or not a 7th seed, a 7th pick in the draft every single year. Like, that's not where I want to be. Eventually, I want these to pan out. And with Wendell and Coby, I see that possibly working for us. But yet again, how much of that is going to be, and I don't think it is. I think Wendell is showing us even in year 2. Like, Wendell coming off an injury, too. Coming off an injury, and it's like, hey, I'm going to play. That's another thing in the Buck game that fucked us is when he fouled out. Those refs were... Is it just me, or were those refs terrible during that game?
They were calling everything.
Okay.
Like, it's funny because in the Knick game, I felt like they were letting contact happen and letting people play through. But in the Bucks game, you're right, everything was getting called. Because,
like, the thing that I hated in the box score was we finished 21 of 35 from the stripe. They went 34-42.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, you can't be sending anything.
Again, Zach fouled out of that game.
Wendell fouled
out. So we're trying to defend.
Lowry was at 4.
Yeah, but he was off the court.
5.
He was off the court for chunks of time.
Yeah.
So like you're trying to defend with Thad Young,
and
then
had 4.
What? Archie Archie played defense on Giannis.
Yeah, I know, right?
Like the
good old Kurt Heinrich bear hug. That's what I wanted.
Oh my god. The point being, like, it's a problem. It's a legit problem. Ugh.
And I mean, the last thing I do want to say is you mentioned confidence.
Yep.
And is it a confidence thing? I think this all circles back to one thing. If it's a confidence issue, it's Jim Boylan, because who's the guy that's supposed to be giving these players their like? I know you can say like the right things to give a guy confidence, and part of you might say it comes down to yourself to give yourself the confidence too.
Yeah.
But it's about the coach, because like how many times do I have to say, "Oh, we go into the halftime locker room and then we come out flat-footed"? Is that a player thing? Is that a coach thing? I don't know. I'm just not happy with what I see on the court from the Bulls. And that's why we're having this discussion, because like Zach, 8 of 20? I know he had 25 points in the game, but 8 of 20 in the last one and a lot of bad shots. But any final thoughts before we wrap this thing up? Anything you want to get off the chest, Dave?
It's not time to move on yet. This is a young team with a young season.
Dave's pushing that panic button to the side. It's still out. It's not under the table.
Right.
But it's off to the side.
I think we give it, a month and we see where we're at. We'll recollect our thoughts after a month and kind of make that decision, because in that time we got a lot of fun matchups. We got a lot of interesting games. And I want to see if Coby White can take this momentum that he's built in these last 2 games of shooting way too fucking well and getting us way too excited, leading to Ricky giving him, maybe an award or something.
Maybe.
It just turns into the like, all right, is he legit the guy? Can he take over games? Can he be the guy for us? If he shows that year 1, I'm not afraid of pulling the trigger on something interesting, you know?
My quick question for you.
Yeah.
Do you know when tickets for the All-Star game go on sale?
I don't know.
Okay. Because I was reminded of that this week, that I'm like, oh shit, the All-Star game's in Chicago this year. We definitely need to go to the All-Star game.
I think you can buy them now.
And probably the All-Star weekend, because that would be awesome. How many Bulls will we see in that game? Probably none, but we'll see.
They should give us one if one's playing well enough. But none are.
Wendell?
No, none are.
Wendell, a second-year All-Star.
I'm pretty sure they're available.
I mean, but yeah, let us know what you guys think down below. That was just one thing I thought of. Like, man, if it's here in Chicago, we should obviously go to the game. Let us know what you guys think, Bulls fans, down below. Vent your frustrations also. Dave put it perfectly. The come to Jesus moment, because we had such high expectations for this team, and now they are crumbling early on in front of our faces. Let us know what you guys think. Make sure to support us on patreon.com/mostvaluable podcast, especially if you want to get in on those Discord watch-alongs. Also, make sure to follow us on Twitch, twitch.tv/mostvaluable podcast. Want to thank you guys for checking out today's show, and as always, have a good day, everybody.